Religious practice. What do you do if you wish to become a good baseball player? You practice baseball. And if you wish to be a good basketball or football player, you must practice those games. In order to do anything well, you must practice. But what do you practice in order to become enlightened? In Buddha Dharma, the word used to refer to religious practice which results in enlightenment is shugyo. As most of you know, the shugyo of the Zen school of Buddha Dharma is meditation or zazen. The Shingon school emphasizes finger movements or mudras as the way to follow in attaining enlightenment. The shugyo for the Nichiren school is to recite the sacred title or daimoku, which is Namuamidabutsu. In that school, it is felt that the more often and earnestly you chant the daimoku, the more material benefits you will receive. What is the position of Jodoshinshu regarding shugyo? Jodoshinshu is unique among all Buddhist schools in that, from a doctrinal point of view, there is no shugyo to perform. For all shugyo is contained in the name Namuamidabutsu. Not only all shugyo, but also all good and all benefits are contained in it. The number of times you recite Namuamidabutsu has no bearing on your birth in the Pure Land. Jodoshinshu is a teaching for lay people. It is not a teaching for monks, as all other Buddhist schools are. In Japanese, to become a monk is referred to as shukke, which is written with the characters for leave and home. That is, in order to become a monk, you must give up all your possessions, leave home, and spend your entire time and effort in the cultivation of enlightenment. Is this possible for everyone? And even if it were possible for everyone to leave home, would all have the willpower to complete the rigorous religious practice that is required? Shinran Shonin became a Tendai Buddhist monk in the year 1181. Although no one is absolutely sure of what he did as a monk, there is very little doubt as to the kind of shugyo Shinran Shonin underwent. For the Tendai monks of today are very proud of the fact that the religious practice they engage in is exactly the same as that first practiced by the founder of the Tendai school in Japan, Dengyo Daishi. In the following section, you will read about the shugyo that a Tendai Buddhist monk went through. Socho Hagami is a modern Buddhist monk of the Tendai school who underwent the various rigorous Kaihogyo shugyo still practiced on Mount Hiei, the center of Tendai monastic training. Kaihogyo literally means a round peak practice and consists of making 1,000 circuits around the peak of Mount Hiei. Upon entering into this practice, monk Hagami was given a short sword to commit seppuku, or the proper term for what is jocularly referred to in English as harikari, ritual suicide, if for any reason he was unable to walk the circuit when he was supposed to. No excuses were allowed. Monk Hagami would not have been allowed time off if his parents became critically ill, or if he had a broken leg and was unable to walk. A monk continued to practice the Kaihogyo shugyo during World War II, when all available Japanese manpower was supposedly directed toward the war effort. A little matter such as a world war was insufficient reason for a monk to stop his shugyo. Regardless of the reason, if monk Hagami had been unable to walk the circuit even once, he had to be prepared to give up his life. Would you be able to undergo a shugyo, such as described, which monk Hagami went through? Until Shinran Shonin's time, all monks had to practice a shugyo similar to what monk Hagami did. But with Shinran Shonin's awakening to the true nature of the causal vow came the understanding that all shugyo is contained in it. Because Amida Buddha has undergone all the ascetic practices required when he was Hozo Bosatsu, there is no need for us to undergo them. Monk Hagami is very impressed with Shinran Shonin and the teachings of Jodoshinshu. He frequently speaks before Jodoshinshu groups, always remarking that he could never have completed the Kaiokyo austerities through his own effort, and that looking back he realizes that it was Tariki or Buddha-centered power that saw him through. There is no Shugyo in Jodoshinshu, because according to doctrine it is all contained in the Nembutsu. But that only means that there is no special Shugyo which we have to leave home to practice. The other side of this doctrinal formulation is that we do not have to do anything special, because everything that we do is Shugyo. The way we wake up in the morning, the way we greet our parents and children, the way we eat breakfast, the way we drive to work, the way we work. There is nothing that is not Shugyo for a Jodoshinshuist. As we practice living a better life, we realize that we can become even better. If it were possible to measure goodness, if we become better by a value of 1, our ideal of goodness will increase by 2. If we become better by 2, our ideal will be increased by 4. Although someone looking at us from the outside may feel that we are becoming a better person in relation to the constantly increasing ideal in our mind, which always increases much faster than we become better, we realize that we are falling behind or getting worse. This is the Jodoshinshu sense of evil that we are always facing.